The financial decisions that change your life usually don't look dramatic. They're small, quiet, sometimes almost invisible, but over time they create something incredibly powerful. Options. The other night we made dinner at home for $10.88. A previous Chick-fil-A meal for our family of 5 costs $45.97. That's about a $35 difference for one meal. And that might not sound like much, but here's the part most people never calculate. If a family swaps out just one fast food dinner a week for something simple at home, it's about $1,800 a year. And if that money was invested for a child's college fund, in 10 years, it becomes roughly $24,000. Not because you made some huge sacrifice, but because you understand what your everyday decisions actually cost. At one point, we realized something simple. It wasn't worth $1,800 a year for our family to eat Chick-fil-A once a week. And honestly, the drive-thru line alone made me full of rage. Instead, we had a really good meal at home. Vegetables, grains, lean protein, and drinks we actually enjoy. We weren't sacrificing. We were just aligning our spending with what we actually value. Because most families aren't struggling because of one giant financial mistake. They're struggling because of hundreds of invisible ones. And the good news is that works the other way too. If you want the spreadsheet that I use to see these kinds of decisions clearly, it's linked in the description below. It's the exact system that we've used for years to track our money and make intentional financial decisions. I did some research recently, and according to several sources, the average family eats out 7 to 8 times per month. That usually includes 3 sit-down meals and about 4 to 5 fast food meals, which adds up to around $270 to $330 a month eating out. But most families don't realize how that's actually happening because the decision feels small. And the reason most people never see it is because the decisions that shape our finances usually happen when we're tired, busy, or we're just trying to get through the day. A few nights ago, we had a really busy day. So we went for convenience at dinner time. Frozen turkey meatballs, pasta, gluten-free, and spaghetti. 2 kinds of sauce, because apparently my family cannot decide on one. Green beans, sparkling water for a few of us, and a Diet Coke for me. Total cost for our family of 5, eating like adults, $10.88. And that meal took maybe 3 minutes of hands-on time and about 20 minutes to cook, which is probably the same amount of time it would have taken me to order at Chick-fil-A, drive there, pick up our food, and get back. But the Chick-fil-A meal for our family, $45.97. That's about $35 in difference. And again, that doesn't feel like a big financial decision in the moment. But over time, it absolutely is. If a family makes the swap once a week, that's about $1,800 a year. And if that money went into a college fund, in 10 years, our 8-year-old would have $24,000 in his college fund. One of the most helpful financial habits I've learned is to annualize small decisions. Instead of asking, is this worth $35? I ask, what does this cost me over a year? Because when you multiply small decisions over 52 weeks, the numbers get very real very quickly. And most people don't see this math because we don't think about small decisions. But small decisions repeated over time quietly shape our life. And this was never about eating out. We absolutely do it. Eating out is fun. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's the right decision. But the key is understanding what those choices actually cost so you can make them intentionally. That's where tracking your money becomes so powerful. For us, we made what we call a decide once decision. We decided fast food wasn't worth the money for our family. That doesn't mean we never eat out, but it means we stopped having to make the same decision over and over again when we're tired. Because the reality is, many of our most expensive financial decisions happen when we're exhausted and hungry. So if you decide once ahead of time, you remove the pressure from the moment, and it makes it that much easier to stick to the decisions that actually matter. Maybe for you it's something different. Maybe it's Amazon purchases or soda or convenience drinks. Maybe it's paying full price for things you could buy secondhand. When you look at your spending categories, you'll usually see it pretty clearly. If a category doesn't align with your values, make the decision once and change it. When we started paying attention to our small financial decisions, it changed much bigger things in our lives. Those habits are what helped us pay off $116,000 in student loan debt, prepare financially for adoption, and survive some incredibly difficult situations, including the year my husband fell off a ladder and shattered his knee. None of those moments were solved by one dramatic financial decision. We didn't win the lottery. We didn't suddenly land a huge payout. We didn't start making an enormous salary overnight. Those seasons were supported by hundreds of quiet decisions over time and a whole lot of work. This is one of the most important things that I've learned about money. Small financial decisions create freedom, stability, generosity, and the ability to follow your calling. And most of these decisions fall into 3 categories. Habits, the things that you do repeatedly every week. Defaults, the systems you set up for spending and saving. Boundaries, the decisions you make once about what you will and won't spend money on. When those 3 things align, your money starts working for your life instead of constantly fighting it. Those decisions create options, not overnight, but gradually. And when those options exist, your life looks different. You can say yes to things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. You can sleep better at night. It's not luck. It's not a windfall. It's the result of making sure your financial decisions align with the life that you actually want to live. The financial decisions that change your life rarely look dramatic in the moment. They look like making dinner at home, paying attention to your spending, making one intentional decision at a time. But over time, those small decisions quietly build a life with far more freedom. If you want the spreadsheet that I use to track every dollar and see the kind of decisions clearly, it's linked in the description below. It's the same system we've used for years to make money decisions that create options for us. If this idea of small financial decisions creating big life options resonates with you, the next video you should watch is right here. In this video, I explain why so many responsible people still feel financially stressed, even when they're doing everything right, and how invisible systems can change that. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. I share 2 videos every week about systems and money decisions that help responsible people build more freedom and stability. I'll see you in the next video.